Hello everybody, Joe Bagdones here, and welcome back for another episode of One. Last time we left off, we left Mio sitting out in the freezing rain to go do something. I forget what he wanted to go buy. Sushi, he wanted to go buy sushi. And told her not to move, and it started raining, and she didn't move, like a dum-dum. And then he hugged her. He wrapped his arms right around her. And then his stream of consciousness cut out, and now here we are. Whew. My sleep schedule got weird. I stayed up too late yesterday, and I woke up, and it was like 4 a.m., which is bad for my current sleep schedule. And I'm gonna need to fix it today, because I go back to work tomorrow for another long work week of working 4 12-hour shifts, which the 12-hour shifts don't sound that bad, but when you're the only person like in your section, it sucks. It sucks real bad. Just getting fucking dicked down by all the holidays. But hopefully I can maybe record another episode today, so that way it's spaced out and the episodes will come up unimpeded throughout the Thanksgiving holiday here in the States, which I'm not doing anything for because, once again, I'm working through it, so I'm probably just going to have some chicken and rice that I cooked at home and just heat it up in the microwave at work. Gotta love the holiday season, folks. Anyway, enough bitching about me and my upload schedule and how trying not to be inconsistent with it, but if things happen. You guys should know to expect that by now. But no one wants to hear about me. They wanna hear about Mio. Huh? I gotta click on the screen. I always fucking click off the screen to start the recording on OBS, and I gotta click back in on this screen. For some reason, there's no one here in the club room. Is it still too early? Looking in from the doorway, a crimson sunset comes into view through the window. The sunset's so red that it hurts. The kind of sunset that filters straight through closed eyelids. It sounds to me like you're just staring at the sun. Poke, poke. Suddenly, someone pushes me in the back. Smile. It's Mio, standing in the corridor, awash with that same red color. Oh, sorry. I'm blocking the doorway. I enter first, with Mio running enthusiastically in after me. Can't you ever just walk slowly? Mio? It's red. Her sketchbook is soaked in crimson light. Yeah. It's beautiful. She happily looks outside the window. Don't fall out now. That'd be no laughing matter. Why's the window open? It's fucking winter. Keep that shit closed. You think heating a building this big is cheap? Watching her risky movements, I hurriedly rush over. Suddenly, my field of vision is dyed in red. Fluffy red snow. Oh, that sounds awful. Even the sunlight seems foggy as it comes through from behind a filter of clouds. Oh, I'm thinking. Sunsets usually aren't like bright red in the winter. It has something to do with, like, how cold the air is and yada yada, and the angle of that the sun is entering the atmosphere because of, like, the Earth's tilt. And if it's winter, it's going to be farther north, which means it has to do with wavelengths and all that fucking shit that, I'm not smart enough to talk about with authority, but I know that's why it's less like the bright red colors and more like the pastels and, like, yellows and oranges, sunrise and sunsets. But anyway, enough about that. A world of red. A gentle breeze is blowing, carrying the snow. I'm in that place again. Hello, eternity. Goodbye, eternity. Hello, Misao. Goodbye, Misao. Hey, Mio? I call from beside her as she continues to watch the sunset fixated. Do you like me? Uh-huh. She nods energetically. Of course, I had meant like in the context of a brother or friend. What do you think would happen if you didn't like me anymore? Eh? Yeah, that's a really weird question. Maybe that was a bad example. In other words, what would happen if you forgot about me? No, it's okay. Forget about it. I cut off my words mid-sentence. On that day from my childhood, just what was it I had wished for? Eternity? There's no way such a thing could exist. But on that day, I didn't know. I fling open the curtains. Confirming the bright sunlight that immediately pours in, I stretch as hard as I can. It's a refreshing morning. Cold wind that stirs the curtain feels good as it blows in. Looking at the clock, it's exactly 8 o'clock. I'm surprising even myself with my regular lifestyle. What's more, it's a public holiday today. Is it? I don't know what holiday's on, like, February 11th in Japan. Naturally, however, this doesn't apply to club activities. Guess I'll go and get ready. Stepping away from the window, I quickly change in my uniform. Quickly gathering the things I need, I head for the living room. Today, I am met with the unusual sight of Yukiko-san in the living room. I tell her this, only to have her reply that it's even rarer to see me awake. She has a point there. Quickly finishing a light breakfast, I leave the house. Well, she hasn't forgotten you yet, so that's a good start. Given the season, it's relatively warm today. Walking through the streets covered in early spring weather, I make my way towards the school. But within that peaceful atmosphere, there exists another world that's gradually infiltrating this reality. At first, it takes the form of a mild uneasiness. The street at such twilight, which never had held my attention before. When I glanced up at the clouds, there's something within me that sets off alarm bells. Another world whose presence grows slowly but surely stronger with every moment. And I'm powerless to resist it as it sweeps away my existence. My eventual end comes as clear as daylight. Becomes as clear as daylight. Am I going to disappear? I murmur the terrifying words to myself. I hope I can at least see the playthrough successfully. Blah! The unusual feeling of someone pulling on my arm. Oh, the usual feeling, not unusual. That is the exact opposite of what it said. The usual feeling of someone pulling on my arm, followed by it being enveloped in a warm, comfortable softness. Smile. The girl with the congenital speech disability looks up at me with her I keep fucking wanting to say unusual, with her usual smile. There's nothing unusual about your smile, Mio. It's fine. How are you, Mio? Feeling all right? Uh-huh. Well, that's good. But if possible, could you walk a little farther away from me? It's nearly impossible for me to walk like this. Yeah, it's not a three-legged race. She gives me a puzzled look as if to ask, why? Just because. Fue? He's just brooding, about his inevitable, disappearance from the universe. Just stop clinging to me. Ooh. She reluctantly releases my arm. Sulking, she begins to walk off on her own. I feel a little sorry for her, but knowing her, she'll be back to normal soon enough. Before I know it, our president is standing beside me. It's not like I'm really picking on her. Is that how you see it? What? That wasn't something I was expecting to hear. Absolutely not. First of all, no matter how you look at it, she's not the girlfriend type. What does that mean? I know he means it like she's emoto-zoned, but... The president asked back with a serious expression. Well, yes, she is like a little sister, but, this is a romance visual novel, and we don't actually want to emoto-zone her, because she's a hopeless klutz. No, that's just moe points, my guy. I'm always by her side because I'm worried about her. And there's no other reason.
でもそれは折原君の一方的な考えでしょ。
I'm telling you, she doesn't have any feelings for me either.
本当にそう思う？
Of course.
そっか。
She gives me a sad look as she concludes our conversation.
嘘ついてないといいけどね。
Finally, we arrive at the familiar school gates. We walk down the corridor without exchanging a single word. Arriving in front of the drama club room, the president and I open the door together. Coming inside, we call out to the few members who have arrived before us. The usual scene, but today, something is different.
宮山部長、その人どなたですか？
Oh, they're forgetting. The first to speak is a first-year girl like Mio. She shoots me a suspicious look. Oh yeah, this will be weird because he's actually like surrounded by people instead of being like a complete outcast loner like the other routes. Uncertain of what she means by that, the president makes a face.
新入部員ですか？折原君のこと？名前は知りませんけど。どうしたの？今まで一緒に頑張ってきたでしょ？私はその人とは初対面ですけど。
I can feel a chill run through my body. Her honest, inoffensive words stab at my heart. The club members, who should know my face by now, are looking at me as though I'm a stranger. My existence in this world is growing thin. I'm being forgotten. Unable to bear their looks any longer, I leave the club room. Ah, damn it! What the hell was that all about? I stalk down the corridor, venting my helpless anger on the inanimate walls. My shapeless fear has finally and unmistakably manifested itself before me. Am I just gonna disappear like this? Forgotten by everyone? Thunk. Alright, Kyle. I strike the wall once more. A girl stands before me, her body trembling with the shock from the sound. Mio. Keeping her distance from me, she stares at me with an expression of fear. Finally, with eyes that seem to only see a stranger, without clinging onto my arm, she passes straight by me. The emotion I feel now is no longer anger, but only sorrow. Sorrow at how cold her eyes had been. Whew, jumping like 2 weeks. I wake up, looking at the clock, and I see it's still 5 o'clock in the morning. I don't feel sleepy. There's a feeling of frustration in my chest that makes me want to claw it open. Beginning with that first incident, my existence has faded as fast as the passing of days in autumn. Forgotten by my classmates, forgotten by Miyama-san, forgotten even by the childhood friend who knew me best. And then, for a moment, the image of an energetic young girl drifts into my mind, but I quickly wipe it away. There's no way she'd remember me. Even Yukiko-san, who had just barely managed to retain her memories of me, is slowly forgetting that I exist. I have a lot to think about. Think about the drama club. Or what happens now, I guess. I've already prepared myself. Strangely, I don't feel any regret. No regrets. But there's still one more thing left for me to do. I want to see Mio's play. That's the last selfish desire I have left in this world. My existence hangs from this world by a thread. And after I see the play through, I plan to release my hold on that thread. No, that's not right. There's still one other thing left that I have to do. I've got to take off those shackles I fettered her with on that distant day. Memory from a day long past. Quiet, peaceful day. The slow-moving air. The gentle light shooting through the trees. An everyday life that would go on for an eternity. An everyday life when I really believed that. The day I first met Mio. And the very last day of the everyday life that was never supposed to have ended. A gentle breeze is blowing. There I am, with my little hand tightly held. I can hear a voice.
かわいそう。
Pitiful?
かわいそうな子。あの子はお話できないのよ。
She? Not that she mentions it. And now that she mentions it, I notice her for the first time. The park swing. There on that swing sits a girl, alone and well-behaved. All on her own. Expressionless. Shaking off the warm hand, I run over to her. Hi, what are you doing? She gradually raises her face as I greet her, as if noticing me for the first time. Are you playing by yourself? I'm not going to do a child voice. Where are your friends? She doesn't say a word. Paul. I try tugging at her cheek. She remains silent, even her expression is unchanging. It's no fun teasing you, is it? Don't you get frustrated when I do that? I'm starting to feel a little bad for her. I've come this far. There's no way I'm backing down. I really didn't want to do this, but... Grabbing hold of the swing she's sitting on, I begin to twist it clockwise. She continues to sit perfectly still, with a "fweh" expression on her face. Whew. That ought to do it. Then you release it and she goes spinning. Listen, when I let go, this swing is going to whirl around in the opposite direction. You'll get a real shock. I'm really going to let go, you know. Yeah. The swing spins round and round as the twisted part returns to its original state. Still, it's not long before it comes to a stop. How was that? You were surprised, right? You were scared, right? It's just the swing spinning. Ugh, don't you hate me? Somehow, it feels more like I'm the one being picked on. Is it really true that you can't talk? Looks like it is. I'll bet that's why you're so unfriendly. Here, I'll lend this to you. My mum, me dear mum, just bought it for me. She says she wants me to use it for drawing during crafts time. That's why I shouldn't really be doing this. Mum will probably get angry at me if I lose it, but I'll still lend it to you. Shake, shake. Oh, that's fine. Go on, take it. I half forced the sketchbook into her hands. Now you can introduce yourself. I'm Kohei. The girl takes turns looking between me and the sketchbook with her motionless eyes. Does she have anything to write with, my guy? Finally, she gradually opens it. Her body comes to a stop. What are you doing? Don't you have anything to write with? Why would she? Do you just carry around like a box of crayons in your pocket? Uh-huh. She gives a tiny nod, or at least I get the feeling she does. Sheesh, you're one troublesome girl. Here, I'll give you this crayon. But you're only getting one, okay? What are you staring at? Come on, pick the one that you like. Okay. Extending her little hand, she picks up a single crayon. Do you like blue? Uh-huh. This time, it's a clear nod. Good, that's my favorite color too, but I'll make a special exception and give it to you. You can have this white one too. I haven't got a clue how I'm supposed to use it. Well, it's so you can, like, color in. You know, I know the page is white, but instead of being, like, just paper white, it's, like, you know, crayon white, so that way the texture is consistent. Shake, shake. You don't want the white one? Oh, you sure are picky. Well, never mind that. Come on, introduce yourself. Okay. Nodding, she unfolds the page and begins to write. Mio. How do you read that character? Her mouth moves a little, but there are no words forthcoming. Well, never mind. Anyhow, that's all for introductions. Hey, did you smile just then? I get the feeling that her expression has loosened just the slightest bit. Just then, I hear a voice calling me in the distance. Sorry, my mom's calling me. Okay, see you later. Uh-huh. No, oh, that's right. Listen, I'm just lending you that sketchbook, okay? Be sure to give it back to me next time. Okay. Nodding, she writes something in it. 1 week. You'll give it back in 1 week? Uh-huh. In that case, I'll be waiting here next week. Okay. Remember, it's a promise. Until then, you'd better take good care of that sketchbook. But in the end, I couldn't make it to that place like I promised. That day, I was amongst a throng of adults dressed in black, saying my final farewell to my father. That's why I couldn't keep my promise with that girl. Several days later, I heard a rumor from a friend that there was a girl who cried at the park every day. It seemed she would wait there, even on the days that it rained. I should have gone and apologized right away. All it would have taken was a single sentence, sorry, I couldn't keep our promise. But back then, I didn't even go to see her. That simple promise from our childhood days has become Mio's ball and chain, bound by a childhood promise, just like me. An empty classroom. I take out a sketchbook from one of the rows of neatly aligned desks, an old, time-worn sketchbook. Tearing off a page from inside, I begin to write on it in blue crayon. At last, I leave, still holding the sketchbook. The sound of someone's hurried footsteps as they run down the corridor. Flinging open the door, she comes into the classroom. A moment later, she dashes back outside again. With tears in her eyes, she looks down the corridor with a conflicted expression. A blue worded memo in her hand. Finally, her gaze turns down to the note. Sorry I couldn't keep our promise. Okay. Smiling, she nods as the tears well up in her eyes. Overflowing, they stream down her cheeks. I've done it. With this, her shackles are gone. Now, all that's left is me. My vision's clouded with a white haze. I wake up, unable to even determine where I am. It's quiet and bright. Rubbing my eyes, I walk towards where the light is streaming in from. A familiar place. The view from the window thrown open whenever my busybody childhood friend comes to wake me up every morning. I finally become aware of where I'm standing right now. Without a doubt, this is my own room. I meet the new dawn in the same place, in the same way as I did yesterday. And on the calendar hanging on the wall, there is a red circle around today's date. Finally, it's here. The day Mio stands upon the stage. I've continued to struggle until now, knowing full well that I no longer exist inside anyone. Just barely managing to keep my finger down on the ties to this world, I continue to suffer beyond the help of anyone. All for the sake of today. And after I watch Mio, I'll release these bonds of my own free will. Changing to my clothes, I take a black marker and put a cross through today's date. It's about time I go. Looking at the clock, I've still got time left, but I have no intention of just standing here. There's nothing left for me to do, and moreover, the thought of surrounding myself to my plain surroundings is one that fills me with a hopeless uneasiness. As I leave my room, I suddenly find the resolve to turn back one more time. From within my closet, I take out the uniform, which I hadn't worn for a while, and will probably never wear again. After all, I am going to school. I take off my casual clothes and put my arm through the nostalgic, comfortably familiar uniform. Then I take a look in the mirror. It wouldn't be too bad to disappear while looking like this. In the end, I always felt most fulfilled while wearing this uniform. Opening the door, I let in the chilly air from the corridor. It might just be warmer outside than it is in here. Stepping out into the corridor, I descend the stairs. I head outside without seeing Yukiko-san, who hasn't been home for the last few days. As expected, it's warm outside. The round sun is rising into a largely cloudless sky. Doubt I see many clouds in that sky. With the somewhat strong sunshine and cool winds, it's the ideal weather for a walk outside. Especially since she doesn't like the cold. This might just be the right kind of weather. The familiar sight of the school. It never changes its appearance, even on a Sunday. It's still early, so there's no one in sight as I pass through the school gates. I walk towards the gym while surveying the surrounding scenery. The scenery, which I had once taken for granted and ignored, now feels like something irreplaceable. Finally, the gym comes into view. The play should be beginning at 11 o'clock. I check my watch. There's still a whole hour and a half left. I guess it's no surprise that there's no sign of the audience. In spite of this, it seems the drama club's yearly production is generally quite lively, with people coming from far away to see it. How far is far away? Come to think of it, you always had that complex expression on when I mentioned that there'd be a lot of people coming. Knowing her, I'll bet she's nervous. Her acting may be up to standard, but it's not going to help if she gets nervous. Suddenly, I realize that Mio is all I've been thinking about. I watched the gym with conflicted emotions. What should I do? I mean, might as well get a good seat. The interior of the gym is still largely vacant. It seems they haven't finished preparing all the pipe chairs yet. Just say folding chairs. Pipe chairs is weird. Naturally, there's no sign of the general public, but from time to time, I catch sight of the drama club members running about busily from the wings. The preparations don't seem to be going too smoothly. It's almost like they're down a guy. That's only to be expected. Even at the best times, they're short-staffed. But now, they're missing the member most suited for this sort of physical work. A club member passes right by me, carrying a pipe chair. Occasionally checking the time, he places the chairs one by one in the allotted positions. I guess I'll help. Can I give you a hand with that? I call out to the club member. To be honest, I can't stand just sitting here and watching any longer. The club member looks confused at the sudden appearance of an unknown boy. Still, realizing that I'm acting in good faith, he accepts my offer. Finally, the pipe chairs are arranged, completing the audience seating. The club member thanks me before running off towards the wings. There's probably still plenty of work left to be done backstage. I guess there's nothing else for it. Following behind the club member, I enter the wings. There's a unique smell about this place. Oh yeah, backstage, in the auditorium or theater. You know, we were back there a lot for band, but it definitely has a weird not quite musty, but kind of old wood. I guess kind of musty would be right. All the fabric and wood and kind of floor polish smell, but not. It's weird. Backstage has a weird smell. The usually undisturbed wings are filled with equipment such as vaulting horses and mats lying randomly all over the place. Standing beside them is a female student busily giving out instructions. It's President Miyama. She's already graduated a few days earlier, but according to drama club tradition, it seems she won't retire until this play is over. Noticing me, she calls out to me. Are you the president? Can I help you with anything? Most of the work's already been divided up. Yes, although it was only for a few months. By the way, where is Kozuki-san? Yes. I see. I do? Almost like there was some mysterious person who was helping her out, but we can't think of who. That's because she had a good coach. No, it's nothing. More importantly, is there anything at all that I can help with? If there is anything at all I can help with, please let me know.
本当にいいの?
Yes, I want this play to succeed no matter what.
わかったわ。そういうことなら遠慮なく手伝ってもらうわね。
Finally, the stage is set. All that's left now is to wait for the curtain to rise.
今日は本当にありがとうね。
As soon as the preparations are ready, Miyama-san comes running over to me. It was nothing.
もちろんこれから舞台を見てくれるんだよね。
Yes, that's my intention.
だったらここで見ていく？ちょっと角度は悪いけど、それでも普通はなかなか体験できないよ。
Yes, you're right.
それにもうすぐ光月さんも戻ると思うから。
Mio's coming back. Sorry, but I'll watch from the audience seating after all.
そうなの？残念ね。
I'll be going now. Turning away from Miyama-san, I leave the wings. Mio's the last person I want to meet right now. I couldn't stand for her to look at me with those eyes again, as if she were looking at a stranger. Making my way through the guests entering from the opposite direction, I sit down in the very back row. Finally, when the many empty seats are all filled with people, the lights are dimmed. Miyama-san addresses the audience before the curtain slowly rises. Mio's first play. And so, my final day comes to a gradual start. The play slowly moves forward, just like the gentle winds from the current season. Moment by moment, each one irreplaceable to me. The season I had spent with the drama club, although it was only a short time, finally. Oh, cute outfit. Enveloped in a brand new costume, a single girl becomes bathed in the dazzling stage lights. Oh, what's this? Clothes really suit her. And her actings become decent too, unlike my reading. Ha. Also, the stage lights, they're like really hot. Like, they put out a ton of heat. Like, even just fucking sitting there in a chair, like playing music, you just start sweating. It's like you're under a heat lamp. All thanks to her excellent coach, of course. I get the feeling that Mio just nodded from the stage. I feel an overwhelming sorrow come upon me. Mio's part is coming to an end. Having watched her last scene, I stand up on my own. Turning my back to her, I leave the gym. The gym erupts with applause as the door closes behind me with a thump. Hey, Mio? We've been through a lot up until now, haven't we? Mio, I think I murmur the words in a little voice that is quickly swallowed by the sound of cheers. I leave the gym. Seems there's still time before I disappear. Might be nice to take one last slow look around the school. Having so decided, I turn towards the empty school building. I don't know the extent of the time I have left. Where should I go? I don't know, the cafeteria? I know, I'll go to the cafeteria, you know, the place where we practice together. Considering the usual liveliness, the empty cafeteria looks especially deserted. Sitting down in a nearby chair, I look over the dim counter. This is the place of deep memories for me. I spent many a time here, locked in heated conversations with my bad influence friends. I always thought that when the chime rang to interrupt our conversation, we could always resume tomorrow. Never even once considered that tomorrow might not be coming. Suddenly, I remember something. Come to think of it, this is where I was reunited with Mio. Oh yeah, that too, where she spilled ramen all over her back. It was really just a coincidence. I just happened to be eating in this very seat with Misaki-senpai. That was when I was half burnt to death by Mio. I suddenly turn around as I reminisce. Naturally, there's no one there. This place is starting to make me feel uncomfortable. It's about time I head somewhere else. Drama club? Oh, not roof. Drama club. Almost clicked the roof. Haha. Misaki-senpai's not going to be there. Or she might be. Who knows? But we're not going to find out. The club room, huh? I walk down the corridor, headed for the club room. From the empty corridor, I can see inside the empty classrooms. The only sounds I can hear are my own footsteps. Finally, the plate with Drama Club inscribed upon it comes into view. I hesitate as I stand in front of the door. Why did I come here? Regrets? No, I shouldn't have any left. I place my hand upon the sliding door and pull it open. It's quiet and nostalgic. I slowly walk inside. Oh, sorry about that little cut. Just had a bit of a coughing fit. The good thing about the winter is that it's nice and cool and dry, and you're not dying in the humidity. The downside of it is I wake up in the morning and I feel like I've been pickled in brine, and my throat has no moisture whatsoever. But I went and got some water. I'm back. I'm fine. Everything's fine. How are you? Where were we? Oh, yes. The club members are probably still in the gym. The script lying open on the desk and the scenery scattered all over the place, all over the floor, attest to how busy they were before the play. Amongst these things, I find something familiar. A green sketchbook. Without a doubt, this belongs to Mio. She must have forgotten it in here once she changed. I give a wry laugh as I draw closer. Her marker is lying beside it. I guess she'll never stop being a klutz. I casually flip open the sketchbook cover. Kozuki Mio. Characters enthusiastically written in black marker. I turn the page. Kozuki Mio. Nostalgic words. Precious memories. Words expressed by a silent girl with all her heart. Her smile drifts to mind as I turn the pages. Finally, I reach the last page. It's a blank page with nothing written on it. I remove the cap from the marker lying beside the sketchbook. One by one, I line the characters up on the page. Words I send now with all my heart to Mio. Closing the sketchbook with a thump, I leave the club room. Goodbye, Mio. I continue to wander through the school building. Without a destination, I simply spend the time reminiscing. Finally, as my surroundings are covered in darkness, the moment of my disappearance is at hand. I'm ready any time now, but I get the feeling that there is somewhere more appropriate for that than here. I slowly walk through the darkness, heading now for that place. The silhouette of the gym drifts into view out of the darkness as I stand before the doors looking up. The building is quiet. There's no light coming from inside. I quietly push open the door. The sound of creaking steel echoes in the darkness as the air inside gradually flows out. I look up at the ceiling of the dead silent gym. Oh man, look at all those volleyballs and basketballs stuck up in the steel beams that will never get down because they've been up there for 25 years. The silence extends across the wide space as though the uproar in here a few hours ago had never happened. The absolute stillness impresses upon me just how alone I am. Within a world that has forgotten me, I come to face the unnoticed moment of my extinction. Eroded and enveloped by the world within, with my existence forgotten, with no one to bid me farewell, with no one who has any reason to bid me farewell, with no one who even remembers me. But that's all fine. It's a farewell where no one is hurt, and no one feels sad. I no longer have any regrets. Leaning against the cold wall, I collapse into a seated position. Soon I'll cease to even feel the cold. I lower my gaze towards the stage. There, in the darkness that should have been empty, stands a lone girl. She looks around in the darkness as though searching for something. Mio. I can't make out the expression on her face. Just how would the girl who had forgotten about me think of me now? An unfamiliar stranger, I suppose. Noticing me as I lean comically up against the wall, she comes walking over. Our gazes cross. Me. I swallow the words that were about to emerge from my mouth. I know I just confused her if I called her name now. What are you doing here at this hour? I murmur the words in a low voice, as if groaning. The girl's footsteps come to a stop. Hey, I saw your performance. Pushing back my emotions, I squeeze the words out from the back of my throat in a dry voice. Desperately fighting the impulse to yell, I calmly pretend to be a stranger. If I call out her name even once, I'm sure I would be leaving this world bearing a deep sorrow. I can't see anymore, but I want to yell. Even if it's just one last time. The name of the girl who had lived through this world together with me. But, knowing you, clumsy, but always giving it her best, causing trouble for those around her, and then bowing as she apologizes, with a shy laugh floating onto her face, and her energetic smile showing through. It felt natural for us to be together. The way she would look at me with that sulking expression as I teased her a little, and then respond with a smile again as when I apologized. The way she encouraged me just by being there, supporting me even though I had intended to be the one supporting her. You'll, be fine. Keep, trying your best. Ooh, how assertive, Mio. Huh? Mio. Feelings beyond words passed through my unspeaking lips. Definite warmth. Boo. Let's try that again. A definitive warmth. There's no need for words. I didn't want to admit it. I spent all this time lying to myself about how I felt. Now, I'm certain of it. Everything is clear now as I realize I've been pretending to be someone else. Mio, do you remember me? Uh-huh. She smiles innocently as she gives a big energetic nod. The tears welling up in her eyes shine a sparkling silver as they fall to the floor. It's so painful having to part with her. I forced myself to believe that she was just my troublesome little sister, pushing back my own feelings. Mio, She nods warmly, as though she already understands how I feel. That's quiet. The stillness from before hasn't changed. But the one I love is right beside me now. When I depart this world, someone important to me will know. Maybe that just makes it all the more painful, but right now, I'm unmistakably happy. Somehow, that's just how I feel. The two of us sit close together on the cold floor, not a word passing between us. The feeling of the inanimate floor. The soft warmth spreading across my frozen hands. Looking up, I see Mio's small hand gently placed on mine. I felt that warmth many times before when she hugged me, but this time it feels special. A little embarrassed, she looks away to avoid meeting my gaze. She looks lovely. Kiss the girl! Pulling her close, I seek her lips again. At first, she looks away, but finally, she gradually turns in my direction. This time, our lips touch slowly. A soft, warm sensation. Throwing away my false emotions, I feel her. Well, that was a weird cadence I read that in. Where's my water? Ugh, I'm dying! My emotions won't stop. Mio's red-flushed cheeks are right in front of me now. Gonna make me do some editing, huh, bud? Oh, why you gotta do this, Kohei? You fucking bum. Also, like, on the cold, like, gym floor? What is it with you with, like, fucking girls on the floor? It's kind of weird. I unhesitatingly hug her slender body to mine, seeking her warmth with my entire body. Her hand shifts in a lovable gesture as she shows signs of resistance. Still, I don't let go of her body. Finally, her resistance is gone. I know I'm being unfair. I'm filled with an overpowering hatred for myself for seeking Mio in my last moments. But I want to feel the warmth of the one I love. She looks at me with glassy eyes and an embarrassed expression on her face. Hugging her little body, I quietly lay her down on the floor. Looking at her as I cover her with my body, I notice that she's smaller than I had imagined. Yeah, dude, she looks like she's 85 pounds, like soaking wet. It was with that little body that she had worked so hard in front of all those people. But I had run away. Afraid of being hurt, I had avoided her. Her body quivers at the feeling of the cold gym floor. Silently staring at her straight in the face, I draw my lips closer to hers. She closes her eyes and receives me. With a soft, fluffy sensation, her certain warmth flows into me through our pressed lips. Certain warmth? Like, certain as in like, yes, it is indeed warm, or like a certain kind of warmth? I don't know, that's a little funky. The two of us simply remain still, our lips connected. I continue to feel her warmth, knowing that for this moment, I continue to exist here in this world. I realize once more just how strong her presence is inside me. I fear disappearing from the memories of the others and being forgotten by Mio more than anything else. To be forgotten by the one I love. Hating the feeling of being seen by the one I love as a stranger, I lied to myself and choose to quietly vanish from this world, alone. I didn't care about the others from whose hearts my existence had vanished, but I couldn't stand the thought of being extinguished within the one I loved. I was afraid of being hurt. Our lips come apart, with neither of us willing it. Our gazes lock once more. The one I love. The one who's more important to me. The one who is important to me. I can read. I promise. I don't just make things up. The one I want to protect. Gazing at her now. Mio. I simply call her name. After a brief moment's hesitation, she nods. Hey, time to do some editing. But see you on the Mega. Thud. The metal door of the gym closes behind us with a heavy noise. Mio looks away with a shy expression. Also, hello YouTube people, we are back. We are here. The sex is done. Mio had a lot of CGs for some reason compared to the other girls who had like 2. She had like 5. Yeah, it's about time for us to go. Okay. We take the little path back to the courtyard. As we step into the open area, the moon emerges from its hiding place behind the clouds, wreathed in a brilliant yellow light. Bathed in the light from the full moon, the white paved ground drifts into view from the darkness like a stage. Mio happily looks around at the dreamlike scenery. Mio, I really wanted to walk you home, but I don't have any time left. Even I know that. My existence is hanging from the edge of this world by a single finger. She doesn't nod, but simply looks into my eyes. Sorry, Mio. You can make it home on your own, right? Uh-huh. She gives a slow nod. Don't get lost on the way now. Uh-huh. Well, see you, tomorrow. Uh-huh. Bye, Mio. Uh-huh. Nodding, she gives a little smile. Giving an energetic wave, she runs off. I'm sorry, Mio. Looking back several times, she moves further and further away from me. Oh, hello! Hello, Vive. Thank you for intruding upon me like this. That was very cool of you. I don't care. She gives a big wave of her sketchbook as if to say, I'll be okay. I simply stand there, silently watching her receding figure, until her little body dissolves into the darkness. Mio! Her feet suddenly come to a stop as I call out to her. I should have been facing my final moment on my own. I thought that was the only way to prevent the sorrow from increasing, but I run. I run to Mio, who still trusts in me, even while knowing nothing. Sorry, Mio. let me stay like this for a little longer. I want to feel the warmth of the one I love in this sliver of time remaining to me. At least until this moment, I'm extinguished from this world. I'm selfish to the end. Without resisting, within my arms, she simply gives a gentle little smile and accepts my selfish request. There's one last thing I want to tell her. It doesn't sound very cool when you've already said it first, but I hug her tightly to anchor my fading existence, to tell the words I want to say to the person I want to say them to. Mio, I love you. Her smile was something that was always beside me. A smile so innocent. My heart, which had gone unnoticed. What? Oh, my heart, which had gone unnoticed. Okay. My feelings, which I hadn't even tried to realize. I was simply so frightened. Frightened of hurting her. Frightened of being hurt. So frightened that I avoided making contact. Okay, end of Evangelion. Nice reference, tactics. I'm joking, of course. December. A reunion gone unnoticed. But the premonition was unmistakably there. Yeah, because she was a character with a sprite. January. The days where we walked side by side. Slow but surely, we moved forwards. February. The time to part was upon us. But the only one who wanted to part was me. March. Our feelings are confirmed against each other's, but my body's disappearing. Mio's bonds are undone. She turns, but I'm not there. But, in spite of that, simply trusting in my words, she gives a little smile. And the last thing I see in this world is the smile of the one I love. That's why I can promise I'll be back for sure. So, can you wait for me until then? Uh-huh. Hey, now we get to see the CGs. I wonder if this will include the ones from the patch, or if it's just the base ones that were already there. Yep, this sure is a school in Sapia Tone. Oh, my back. Ugh. I'd stretched too hard. I'm like cramped the muscle. I'm fine. Ow. Fiend. Well, I was going to cut a little before and do a second part, but honestly, if it's just the epilogue left, then we're going to power through it. Let's go, baby! Oh, 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 oh! Time flows forward like the waves on the open sea. Waves sluggishly pouring back and forth. Time that flows even as it feels as though it stopped. Yeah. Hello. Yeah. What's wrong? Yeah. Aren't you angry, Mio? Eh? I get the feeling that in the end, there wasn't a single thing I could do for you. Even though you continued to suffer, I continued to hurt you until the end. I continued to make you feel sad. That's not true. Because after the morning rehearsals, we returned to the club room. Looking at my watch, it isn't long before lunch is over. A girl who had come back with me calls out to me, asking me what we should do. The girl, a second year, like me, looks at the hands on the clock with a troubled expression. We look at each other's costumes. Doesn't seem like we'll have time to change back into our uniforms. Out of options, we head to the cafeteria, still dressed in our costumes. It'd be embarrassing on our own, but we should be okay together. probably. I secure the seat while the girl goes to fetch our food. I have to endure the curious stares from the onlookers as I wait for the moment of her return. Finally, she waves to me from beyond the crowd. Then she wobbles towards me with a tray full of food. Will she be okay? After all, she's really clumsy. An awkward, but completely earnest girl. It's probably because of her that I was able to work so hard. Crash! Suddenly, a loud noise echoes throughout the room. The entire cafeteria's attention focuses on a single point. Looking over, I see the girl sitting on the floor. There's a boy in front of her, sitting in the same pose. There's ramen soup plastered all over his head. Eh? Suddenly, I'm beset with a strange feeling. That boy looks familiar. I'm sure I know him from somewhere. Yes, he was my senpai from the drama club. He had joined for just a few months about a year ago. The boy who was always together with Mio. Now I remember. I wonder why I forgot about him in the first place. Because you came back for me. And oh, it's like pottery. It rhymes. The ramen. It's like how they met. They're reunited by getting ramen on him, and he has to go to the dry cleaner again. I look at my watch. Has it been 2 hours already? Well, I guess part of that is my fault for coming an hour early, but she's completely late by that other hour. Who would be so late for their last date of the spring holidays? Knowing her, I'll bet she's gotten lost. Even though she'll be a third year starting from tomorrow. She probably won't have changed one bit. A gentle breeze blows through the spring sunlight, shooting through the trees. Well, that's alright. After all, it's a nice day today. Still, she's pretty late. Just giving you a taste of your own medicine, you know? Don't tell me that she's really lost. I guess I'll have to go and look for her. Not that I have... Oh, fuck. Not that I have any leads. But on a day this nice, it's worth my time just to go for a stroll. Right. First, I'll try the shopping district. Oh, you changed your ribbon. Nice. I'm suffocating. Mio! What are you doing? You're late! Uh-huh. She gives an energetic nod from my side. Don't you give me uh-huh. Sheesh. Let me guess. You got lost, right? Uh-huh. She nods enthusiastically. Talk about predictable. Can't you learn from your mistakes at all? I really do sigh a lot when she's around. Well, considering that you got lost, I guess you got here earlier than I might have expected. Uh-huh. You're not sorry at all, are you? But even so, there's nothing which doesn't change. It's because I chose to place myself in time that continues to flow that I can feel happiness, even from the boring everyday that exists here. The one who taught me that is probably... No, it's nothing. I said it was nothing. But even now, I still think it sometimes. Back then. Back in that moment. Just what it was that anchored me to this world. Might just be because I can't leave this hopelessly troublesome girl on her own. Smile. Mio, just how long do you intend to stay like that? She's still clinging to my back. In reply, as always, her face fills with that innocent smile. As she opens her sketchbook to answer, your back is warm. We did it! Woo! Mio Route complete! We in there, boys! Anyway, yeah, pretty good. I like Mio. I feel they handled her, like, having a character with, like, no dialogue. Pretty good. Save money on voice actors, too. Very, cost-conscious of the creators. Hello, ED? Are you over? You gonna let me skip? What? Hello? Weird. I guess we're stuck here in the credit world. Anyway, yeah, good rap. I liked it. I'd give it like maybe let me think. Let me think on it. Maybe like a solid 7. And I'm actually someone who uses a 1 to 10 scale in its proper manner, with a 5 being a completely average, like nothing particularly bad about it, but nothing good. People tend to do a 1 through 5 scale like they're grading a test, with anything below like a 60 being a fail and being bad, and like a 6 being like terrible. But really, a 6 is actually above average. So 7, yeah, pretty good. Nothing too crazy standout. I mean, the whole childhood promise reuniting thing. Yeah, it was nice. Could have done with a little more fleshing out, but what can you do? You know, early days for this crew. But that is one other route completed, and now I have to go edit it, edit out that cut that was in there earlier, and edit out the H scene, which will then be uploaded to Mega Drive. So be sure to go down in the description and click that link if you wanna see it. I mean, even if you don't, it's fine. You didn't really miss much. It was, a 10-minute H scene with a couple different CGs. Nothing particularly noteworthy about it, though. What can you do? Anyway, next time we'll be moving on to the Akane route, who honestly has the most screen time out of any of the girls, if you don't include well, you're around Nagamori a lot, but all her scenes are common route scenes, if that makes sense. Because, she's there every day to wake you up. You're there going to school with her. You're there in class, yada, yada, yada. You're there going home with her. But, Akane's a character who's there a fuck ton. And I guess Nanase, you can spend a lot more time with her if you choose the certain choices for her. But, we haven't yet. So it's going to be a pain going through. I guess not a pain, but, I said I wanted to stop at the scenes with the characters in them and reread them. So we're gonna be going through a lot next time. I feel like Akane is gonna have a lot more. Her route's gonna have a lot more parts than say this one or Misaki Senpai's. Characters who show up halfway through the game. But that's where we're gonna end it for today. So once again, I'd like to thank you all for watching, and I hope to see you all next time for Akane's route. Hope to see you all there later. Mwah.